Talk about it with Franjez. Today's special guest is a recording artist from Yonkers, New York. Today's guest is Crittermake.
What's up, my brother? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me. I've been watching the show. Great job. Definitely nice podcast, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks for coming by.
No doubt.
Absolutely. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just taking it one day at a time. Grinding.
Nice, nice. All right, let's start from the beginning. Where were you born?
Definitely, I was born in Yonkers, New York.
Nice.
YO.
Which hospital?
St. John's.
Me too. That's a good
definitely,
one.
Yeah.
I love to this day. I love the hospital.
Yeah, man. Me too. Definitely. They definitely upgraded it. Definitely different type of services now. Was it always St. John's Riverside though?
I'm not sure about the Riverside part.
Yeah, because
it was always St. John's.
Yeah, it's always with St. John's Hospital. Yeah, definitely.
They might have just threw the Riverside on. It sounds nicer.
Yeah, definitely. They got a couple of new buildings and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's start in the beginning. What was your childhood like? What type of kid were you? What were you into?
Well, my childhood was amazing, man. I grew up on Warburton Avenue, Yonkers, New York. Warburton Avenue is basically, I would say that's like our like Cali, our Sunset Strip. I mean, it goes all the way to Getty Square and stops at Riverdale, and then it takes you the other way. It takes you all the way to Hastings, Hastings, New York. My childhood was fun, man. It was a lot of tag, a lot of roundup, a lot of different things that you would least expect from, I would say, a person from the inner city or from the hood, stuff like that. We rode bikes. We was real heavy on the BMX bikes, and even got into skateboarding. I was actually, I would say, like a professional skateboarder at one time in my life at the age of 13, 14. I skated with Rudy Gonzalez, Tony Hawk, people like that, which might be surprising to people because, I'm this rap guy now and stuff like that. But people don't know, hip hop, bridges the gap with a lot of things, with a lot of different cultures.
Absolutely.
So I've always been a man of many cultures and many ways of life. But, my childhood was fun, man. We had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I wish I could go back.
Outdoor activities. A lot of
outdoor activities, playing tag, boxing, just karate, just doing a lot of things, staying busy, sports.
Any TV or video games?
Oh, yeah, definitely was Techno Bowl with Nintendo, the first Nintendo, Techno Bowl, Shinobi, Contra. We played a lot of Genesis, when we was young, John Madden, football, and stuff like that. Yeah, it was definitely fun. Then, TurboGrafx 16 came out, and then it was Nintendo 64. Yeah, I was a big gamer, man. I was a big gamer, Game Boy. I had a lot of fun, man, when I was a kid, man.
What did you watch on TV?
Oh, well, back then, I would say my favorite show had to be like Different Strokes. I used to love Full House, Family Matters. What was the joint with Silver Spoons? Even a little bit later, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, stuff like that. Cartoons, definitely. The cartoons was way better back then too. We had Voltron, we had He-Man, Transformers. It was man. My child, I feel like my childhood, man, was like the golden era of just like childhoods. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because now it's different, man. Even Jackson 5 too. Jackson 5 cartoon. I used to love that cartoon. That was cool.
Man. All right, let's get to the food that's cooked in the house and the music that's played in the house.
Okay, that's great. Well, the food that was cooked in the house, my father's Puerto Rican, so I'm Puerto Rican. My mother's African American, but she was raised, I guess, with different cultures too. So, it was a little mixture. But I grew up with, eating pateles, rice and beans, of course, patalillos, and it was definitely more, I would say, like, I don't want to say Spanish because Spanish is a language, but it was more of that Latino cultural type of food growing up for me. It was definitely a lot of good food being cooked. I used to dib and dab and cook a little bit too. I made a couple of cakes. The first thing I learned how to cook was a cake. You know what I mean? So yeah, and the music, man. I would say that's kind of what influenced my sound, like now in my music, because I grew up listening to a lot of Shaka Khan, a lot of Anita Baker, a lot of Sade, heavy Sade in the house, Tito Puente, Celia Cruz, just a mixture. It was like a fusion. It was a fusion of all types of music. My father, he was like he was a musician too. My father played the guitar. Rest in peace. He played the guitar. He really loved music. My mother wasn't really a musician or nothing, but she loved music too. She's kind of who influenced me to like certain types of music, because my mother was a real like a real workout buff when I was young. Yeah, my mother, she's kind of where I got my work ethic from as far as working out and stuff like that, exercising. My mother used to walk from Warburton all the way to Dobbs Ferry and back. But the music she used to listen to, she loved freestyle music. So I grew up with freestyle music. A little bit of, my father liked reggae, so I used to listen to a lot of reggae too. It was different types of music going on in the household, man. So it's just
nice.
It's
a nice mix. Do you remember the first piece of music you got for yourself? Either downloaded for yourself or bought for yourself?
Yes, I do. Actually, the first. This is Yonkers history too, because back in the days, there used to be a record store in Getty Square called Music Man. I don't know if you remember that,
absolutely.
But it was Music Man, and I remember when I was young, when I really started getting into music. Like I was always into music, but when I started really getting into it, like becoming a fan of rap and stuff like that, my father came home and he gave me my first record. And the first record that he gave me was Supercat. Supercat is a reggae artist, and I think the record, the name of the record was Dolly Baby or something like that. And I since then that was like actually my first record I got from Music Man. And then after that it was Big Daddy Kane, Long Live Kane, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But that definitely was my first piece of vinyl that I ever had. I think I actually might still have it too.
That's nice.
In the crates,
That's nice. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, when I was a kid, definitely I wanted to be a football player. Yeah, because my brother, shout out to my brother. My brother was like the best football player ever. I used to look up to my brother. Like, he was a great running back, so I always wanted to be a football player. So I started playing football for North Yonkers Boys Club, which is up there on Lake Avenue. And shout out to Mr. Hickey, Mr. Staples, and all of them. That they believed in me, and I actually did good, man. I did good for a while with football, man, for like a couple of years, man.
Nice. So let's get to around 13 when you say you started going pro. How'd that happen?
Oh, okay. So now how that happened was, I used to see, like maybe 2 or 3 guys in the neighborhood up on North Broadway skateboarding, and 2 of them was white and one was black. So, skateboarding was never really like a black thing or whatever. People, as time, I'll tell you about it, but I was interested in it because it looked cool. I seen them, skating and doing tricks and stuff like that, making the board flip, and which I learned later became kick flips and things of that nature, right? So one day I asked them, I was like, yo, can I try? So I got on the skateboard. I was pretty good. I wasn't falling, and I already knew how to skate with roller skates, because I used to go to Murray's and skate all the time. So I just started, like trying to hang out with them sometime, on my spare time. I go hang out with them. Even after football practice, I used to go try to skate with them and stuff like that. And then this guy from England named John, something happened with him. So he had to go back to his country. Excuse me, he's about to get deported. So he was like, yo, you want my skateboard? I never forget this. It was a skateboard with sharks all over it. So I was like, yeah. So I took it, and then I tried to go skate with these guys who, you know, if you get into the skateboard world, it's like, you know, those skateboards that's like shaped like a shark.
Yeah.
Like it's not the standard skateboards with the
Yeah.
grip tape and everything. So it was like basically like how we used to call it in the bike world. Like if you got a bike that's not a Diamondback, a Hutch, or like, you know, a GT Performer, we call them trucks. So it was like they was making fun of my skateboard because I had, you know, my skateboard it wasn't standard. So as time went on, I used to skate, but I was doing good with that skateboard though. I used to do good with it. So as time went on, maybe 2-3 months, I used to borrow their skateboards. Then I finally got my own skateboard. I got my own skateboard, and then we used to travel. We used to go to White Plains. We used to go to Terrytown. You know, this is where my eyes was opened up to different cultures and different things. So I just became good. And as time went on, I started performing in contests, and I started winning first place, trophies, going to Pennsylvania, basically going on tour. And then I got my first sponsorship was from Sports Boutique, which is in White Plains, over there by, you know where TJ Maxx is at?
Yeah.
That shopping center right there. So it was a skateboard shop called Sports Boutique. They signed me. They gave me a deal. Then I got a deal with Dead End, which is a skateboard company in Nyack, New York.
What does a deal entail?
A deal basically back then, a deal entails of like this. If you go to skateboard contests and if I say, and they ask you, yo, who's you sponsored by? I'm sponsored by Dead End, Sports Boutique. Basically, they give me clothes, they give me skateboards. Like Dead End, I have my own skateboard. Like my own skateboard. You get paid. The more contests you win, you get paid like that. It's basically like a record deal back then. You know, it's like a record deal, but it wasn't really a lot of money into it like that back then. And to be honest with you, from that point, maybe it was maybe early 14, late 13, early 14, I started to like go through a lot of struggles like skateboarding, like people, you know, I've always been different, and try to, you know, do things that everybody else doesn't do. So I started to get a lot of flack for it. Like people would, you know, me being from where I'm from, people would try to pick on my friends, you know, because they were skateboarding. We used to wear like the fashion now, like Vans, big baggy pants, chain wallets, big hoodies. Like this is how we used to dress. That's really skateboarder like attire. So we used to get made fun of, and I got into a lot of fights behind that, defending my friends and the police chasing us. And, you know, actually I laugh to this day. I tell a lot of skateboarders out here in Yonkers, I'm like, yo, you see that that guard that's on the, you know, you probably see them. There's like these little metal blocks that's on the steps or like down the handrails. That's because of me, because of us, because we used to skateboard these places and we used to jump down the handrails and grind down them and do tail slides and stuff like that on the steps. So we used to put a lot of wax on them. People would slip and get hurt, stuff like that. So then you see these signs, no skateboarding. That's because of guys like me, like pioneers that really started the skateboard thing in Yonkers like that. So yeah, back then it was people don't understand. I tell them that all the time. I actually had more brushes with the law skateboarding than I did just being in the streets, you know? So, but it definitely was fun.
Is it like skateboarding in places not allowed, stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. We was like public enemy number one. Like,
because back then there were no skate parks, so you had to skate wherever you...
Yep. We paved the way. But that's why we used to go to White Plains. White Plains had Fisher Park. We turned that into a skate park. We just took that over. But then we used to go to Brooklyn Banks, which is actually right there, the last stop at the 4 train, Brooklyn Bridge, over there by Lower East Side. And we used to go to, Wall Street, like where the big bull statue was at and all that. There's so many places in the city that, even Battery Park, stuff like that, we used to go down there and just skate, have fun all day and just, you know, perform, get paid. Sometimes people would pay us for doing tricks and stuff like that. Yeah, it was cool, man.
So when did it come to an end, the going pro with it?
I would say it came to an end maybe about 15, because at that point, for me, and I admit, and I apologize to myself and to my skateboard brethren. It's like it just became too much for me, like having a like people every day. People, yo, why you doing that? Why you skateboarding for? That's you. Oh, you're a white boy and stuff like that, and fighting, and it just became a headache. So I kind of like got to the point where I would leave my skateboard at the skateboard shop in White Plains or in the Galleria, because there was another skateboard shop in the Galleria too. I was cool with them too. So leave my skateboard there, change my clothes, get on the bus or get a ride home, and it just got tiring. But then at the same time, I was kind of getting into rap. Like I already rapped, but I really started getting into it around that time. So it's kind of like I left it alone. But I always kept in contact with everybody and showed my love and support. Even to this day, I'm still a heavy skateboarder, promoter. I love my skateboard community. Every time I see somebody skateboarding, I give them advice. I tell them, yo, keep skating. Don't let nobody stop you. Because it's not about the money with me. I just did it because I loved it. But if I would have stuck with it, I probably would have been a millionaire, billionaire right now,
Yeah, you never know,
X
man.
Games, all that. They didn't have none of that,
Yeah, man. So around 15, you started taking music more serious?
Yeah, we started going to the studio. And,
Nice. Tell us about the first time you went to the studio. What was that experience like?
Wow, it was amazing.
Did you go with music written down already, or did you go to write?
All right, what happened was it was a guy from my neighborhood named Cece, and shout out Cece. He had a movement called Down Low, and he had got back then when they wasn't the Locks yet. They was the Warlocks. They probably was the Bomb Squad at this time because it was a long time ago. So he got a couple of the local artists, unsigned artists, to get on this movement on this project called Down Low. It was a song called Down Low, but it was like, tell them how you rolling. So basically, I was with a group called Black Rage, and he picked us. They took us to the studio in Manhattan. I don't remember exactly where it's at, but it's called Ready or Not. So that's the first real studio I ever went to. I went in there. It was amazing. It was just like, I'd never seen that like that before.
For your first experience,
yeah,
that's wild.
It was a big studio. Everybody was, I seen some, a couple of rappers was there. It was amazing. We went in there, and actually, I had the rhyme, but I had to change it. I kind of changed it in my head. So we went in there, we laid it down, and that was it. We didn't shoot no video or nothing for it, but from then, I knew, I said, yeah, I want to do this, So it was cool. Nah, it was definitely cool.
Nice.
But that project wound up coming out. It made a little noise, But yeah, that was the first time I went to the studio.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about high school a little bit. What were those years like?
High school was rough. It was, I would say, high school for me, it was a lot of trials and tribulations, man, because it was like I was still trying to find myself. So my first high school, I went from Mark Twain to Roosevelt. So I went to Roosevelt. I kind of got involved with the wrong crowd. And then, on the side, I used to do a lot of graffiti. So, I was tagging up and, doing my pieces and stuff like that over there on, I don't even remember. I know it's by Sports Time USA. I don't know what.
Elmsford.
Yeah, it's like close to there. I had a lot of pieces over there. So one time this guy, some kid named Doom, he started crossing me out. Like I don't know if you know about that, but in the graffiti world, you cross somebody out.
That's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful. So this guy kept crossing me out. So I wind up confronting him about it. It was a big fight happened. He wind up getting cut, and I wind up getting kicked out of school. Then I wind up going to Lincoln. Then, as the story goes, I wind up going to Gordon, Saunders, Yonkers Prep. I went to.
Why somebody switched it?
It was trouble at every school I went to. It was just trouble, man. I couldn't stay out of trouble. So it was like, and then the whole time, it's like no sports. It's like I wanted to play sports. To be honest with you, I did try out for Roosevelt. I didn't make the team. They said I was too little, so They said I was tough, but I didn't make the team. But then I went to Lincoln. That was the last school I went to. I did make the team. I did actually make the team. I was doing good. And then I wound up getting kicked out of school, you know, for something happened in the drugs free school zone. Something happened, and they said they saw me with some weed or something, and then next thing you know, they found some weed in my locker, and then I was out of there. So
it wasn't true?
I think it was true, bro. I think it was true. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was selling weed. I messed that up. I was selling weed. I was a little beside myself back then, you know. And the kids seen me do it, so they got me. I wound up, you know, blowing my. And the crazy thing about it is, shout out to Nealon, because I tell people this story a lot, right? Well, not a lot, but I tell people this story. Nealon Green, right? Who had a scholarship to Syracuse and who had other schools scouting him. Now, like I told you earlier, my brother, you know what I'm saying, who has the same last name as me, he was real famous because he went to Stepanak. So the scouters was scouting Nealon, but they seen my name. They seen my name on my jersey. So they was like, hey, is that such and such brother? Or is he related to such and such? And then the coach who knew me and knows my brother, because he used to coach me in wrestling. I used to wrestle real good. And Mark Twain, I used to be on the wrestling team. So he was like, yeah, that's his little brother. So from there, they was watching me. They was like, I had a chance like to really do good. Then I blew it with that. So it was over for me. And I only really got that shot because of Nealon, because they was watching him. If they wasn't watching him, they wouldn't have seen me. But, you know, that's how that went.
I did wrestling at Mark Twain too.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I did wrestling in Mark's 7th and 8th grade. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too.
I loved it. We was undefeated too. We was undefeated. Yeah, we was undefeated. I forgot what year was it though.
Yeah, I forgot what year too.
maybe 91, 91, probably. Yeah, it was a good. That was a good time, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. See, so you get kicked out of all these high schools.
Yeah. It was.
Do you end up graduating?
It was crazy. Nah, they wound up putting me in Radford Academy, which is the police station. No. I couldn't concentrate in there. I couldn't concentrate in there.
No way.
So I wound up
station?
I wound up getting out of there. I never graduated. I went to 11. I think I went to 10th grade and 10th grade level. Then that was it. But you know, later on in life, I wound up getting my GED, getting my thing together and stuff like that. But I never finished school because of that.
So what happens when you leave high school? What are you doing?
Oh, when I left high school, juvenile detention, Woodfield, back and forth Woodfield, and unfortunately, Valhalla, you know how them things go. So, from there it was just a life of like I wouldn't say back and forth. Like I don't want to make it seem like it was a revolving door. But around that time, I went to Valhalla, and I got out, and then I went back like maybe 8-10 months later, and I went upstate for a couple years.
A couple?
Yeah, like 2 years, Went upstate.
What was that for?
I got caught with a gun. Yeah, I got caught with a gun in 1996, and I returned back to society in 1997. October, and I was just I was pursuing the music still, everything was going good, and then all of a sudden I was wrongfully accused for a crime, home invasion that I didn't do in 1997, which maybe it was 45 days after, maybe October, November, yeah, about 2 months after I returned back from the 2 years,
How'd that happen? How'd the wrong accusing happen?
Man, I you know what? I can honestly say I don't really know, but because I don't think the person that actually did it, that we kind of resemble each other a little bit, but maybe we do.
So was it like they saw a video?
No, they saw basically the person that was aiding and abetting the main person that did the crime had a mask over his nose. So when they seen his eyes and his eyebrows, whatever, I guess they assumed it was me, you know.
The person at the home being invaded.
Yeah.
They thought it was you.
They thought it was me, you know what I mean? And they was wrong. And then, you know, years later, subsequently, they found out they, I guess they realized they was wrong, but they still never admitted it. You know, They still never admitted it, yeah. Because the person that actually did it came forward and admitted it, that he did it, so.
And they couldn't let you out?
No, because, all right, they have what you call statute of limitation, you know what I mean? So, especially in cases where it's not like a sex offender case or like a rape or murder, those type of cases, like A1 felonies, don't have statute of limitations. They could charge you for that whenever, 30 years later. But for like robberies, burglaries, assaults, stuff like that, if 7-year statute of limitation. So being that so much time elapsed, I guess they must have felt like, oh, well, this is actually what the judge said. The judge actually said, oh, he's just helping you out. He's your friend or whatever. Or you know, he's just doing that to help you. But because he can't get charged because it's been over 7 years, you know? But I feel like if it was a murder or something like crazy like that, if he would have confessed, they would have let me out, you know? But they didn't. I still had to sit in prison, you know, and do that time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that time when you're actually facing this. What's going on in your head?
All right. So I'm 19 years old.
Damn.
I just came home from 17 to 19 in state prison.
Which facility?
I was in Wyoming, Elmira. You know, Wyoming is basically like Attica, but it's just next door. It's a medium. Wyoming at the time, 1996, was the roughest medium in the state of New York. It was cutting, stabbings every day, 5, 6, 7. It was crazy. Besides that, you know, it's my first time upstate, you know, so it definitely was, you know, but to get to, we passed that now, I'm home. Just to get home and to be doing good. You know, I'm 19, I'm trying to figure it out. You know, I'm still kind of living with my moms and my dad, and I'm just trying to figure life out. I'm 19, I don't really know, you know, I don't have a job or nothing yet, so I just got home. So at the same time, I'm pursuing my music career, and everything is going good. Everything is going good. I got, you know, a couple of meetings set up, you know, finna sign with this label, this other label offer me some money, stuff like that. I got a couple artists helping me, you know, that's known out here. They're helping me. And to be arrested for that crime, knowing that I didn't do it, it was just like, it was heartbreaking. It was, I just couldn't believe it. I kept saying, you know, because it's a process when you get locked up, when you go to prison, when you go to jail, it's a process. You know, it's the arraignment, and then it's the discovery. Then you find out what they got on you. Then you go to a felony hearing, right? So I kept saying, I can't wait for the felony hearing because they're gonna come and they're gonna say, oh, it wasn't him. Let him go. Man, they came to the felony hearing and said it was me. So I said, this is personal. This is personal right here. I don't know what's going on. So I wind up going to the grand jury. I got indicted. I went to trial, you know, because I wasn't trying to take no plea. They never offered me anything, but because I always maintained my innocence since I got locked up. So I went to trial, blue trial, and that was devastating, you know what I mean? Just to be that age and to be, you know, knowing I was facing 25 years, you know? And when I blew trial, I didn't know that they was gonna give me all that time. I'm thinking like, all right, they know I didn't do this. They probably give me 10 years or maybe 8.
Did someone get hurt during the invasion?
No.
So why so many years? That's crazy.
It's because they wanted to. Basically, at the time, Janine Pirro was like the head DA. She actually came in the courtroom a couple times too. Like, they wanted to like make an example, out of me. They wanted to like really send a message to the kids and to the youth, like, yo, you play around, this was gonna happen to you. Like, yo, we not tolerating this in Westchester County, So, I had, the community and different people write letters on my behalf and stuff like that. My moms and, my pops, who was actually my alibis. They actually know I was where I was supposed to be during the commission of this crime. They both wrote letters and had people write letters for me. But judge gave me 20 years. Gave me 20 years. He said I would have gave you the max, but, being that you got all these letters and stuff like that, I'm going to give you 20 years to start all over again. You're almost 20, so you do another 20, and then you come home at 39 or whatever, 40, and, you start your life over again, But it was hard for me. I was refusing visits. I didn't eat.
Like, he did a favor for you.
Yeah, like it was it's crazy, right? Like, yeah, like I didn't understand that. But yeah, it was a lot of pain, man, just knowing that I'm innocent. Even to this day, I still think about it. I'm like,
it's a waste of time.
I'm really innocent. And I fought though. I fought for over 20 years. I was fighting still after I got released, still fighting to prove my innocence, but to no avail. Even though I had the proof, because the person that did it came forward and said he did it. But they still didn't want to, which falls under the guidelines of actual innocence, newly discovered evidence. I had all the cases, everything to fight it, but you know how the court system is. The court system wasn't trying to hear that.
100%.
Yeah, so
100%. Let's talk about prison a little bit. What facilities you went to the second time around?
Well, I started out in Coxsackie. That was my first.
Tell us about Coxsackie.
Facility. It was hell. As soon as I got there, it was a cutting in the yard. I seen people coming in, they face cut, look out the window, because when something happens, you gotta face the wall, stuff like that. So I was just so lucky to face the window, the yard. They out there, the yard, cutting each other up. Like it was just crazy. It was like really, literally, like gladiator school. Like they say, you learn certain things there, and you see certain things, and you have to adapt. You have to, you have to basically be the predator or be the prey, So, yeah, Coxsackie was crazy. I was there for like maybe 2 years. Then from there I went to Southport. Southport is like the box within the box, Then from there I went to Attica, which is the worst prison in the world. Probably.
They really sent you up there.
Yo, if you remember, let me see, what's that cartoon? Like Castle Grayskull? What cartoon is that? Thundercats?
I don't know.
It's like Attica is like Castle Grayskull, man. That Attica got like a black cloud over it. Like when you walk in there, they're not playing in there, man. Them people will kill you in there, like for real. Like Coxsackie is rough like that too, though. But it's like.
And when you say them people, it's the COs, right?
Yeah, it's the COs and everybody, the staff, everybody. They're like it's like a different type of atmosphere up there. They got this crew. They got a crew of officers called the Black Glove Crew. You know what I mean? They wear black gloves, and they're not playing. Like they'll kill you. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, I definitely had my share of incidents there. Though I was definitely cutting up there. I was still young, still trying to adapt. Then from there I went back to Southport, went to Clinton, then back to Southport. It's like a cycle. Like every
Absolutely.
prison I've been to, I go to the box, then go to Southport, then go back to another prison like that. So just to name a few: Clinton, Auburn, Comstock, Clinton Annex. It's a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
It's a bunch of them. But for the most part, I haven't been to every single one of them because they do a classification, Albany. They like sometimes people will be like, yo, I got beef with this guy, and then they'll keep me separate from them or a certain group of people, just being in mischief and mayhem and stuff like that. They'll keep you on the west side of New York, or they'll keep you on the east. Like they won't move you around certain people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like 5 Point, that was a like a double bunk jail. They never put me there. Wendy is up in Buffalo. I've never been there, So I mean, I've been there, but just on passing through,
So I'm assuming the whole 20 years you didn't do in and out the box, right? You eventually calmed down.
Oh yeah. I would say
when and how'd that happen?
I would say actually, man. I would say like towards the end, maybe 2000, which wasn't the end. It's probably the middle. Say like, I can't even say 2009 because 2009 I had a big incident. I wound up going back to Coxsackie, and I wound up getting in a big incident with the officers down there. Wound up catching more time.
Damn.
They almost killed me. So I would say like towards 2000, maybe 13, is when it started to spiral. Like I started to it wasn't really about me because a lot of my incidents I was defending myself or defending other people. As a kid, you might look at me, like people might look at me crazy, but as a kid, I always felt like I'm a superhero. Like I don't know, I feel like it's my duty and it's my job to protect people that can't fight for themselves and stuff like that. So I always stood up for people. I always protected the weak. So I used to always get into incidents with bullies or gang members and things like that, because I don't really like people ganging up on people like that,
Man, as a superhero, you'll always be busy in prison.
Definitely. until it came to a point, not saying that I got soft or nothing, but it came to a point where I was like, okay,
it's not worth it.
Let me chill out for a little while because I want to go home, So it got to the point, it got to that point. Then my classification dropped. So I wound up going to a medium facility, which they say is supposed to be more relaxed, but now mediums is more wild than maxes because it's more movement. It's more movement. People,
a lot of free movement.
Yeah, nobody's behind a cell like that. You in cubes, and it's like 50, 60 people in one dorm in a house, and 2 TVs, and 2 phones. So now it's like more aggressive now. But it's a lot of young people, a lot of people that
it's like towards your way home, so
yeah,
they expect everybody to be chilling.
Yeah, but a lot of people such as myself, when I went to a medium, I think I had 17 years and maybe 16 years.
So it's towards the end. Yeah,
just towards the end, I want to chill, but them kids and the other people that's there, they don't want to chill. They want to kill you for the phone. They want to take your food. They want to steal out your locker. They want to do all that. So it's like starting all over again. But because nowadays, it's like, not nowadays, but even back then, it's like, they don't really care that you was in Attica and you was lifting the whole yard, and they don't care about that. They want that phone. They want to call their girl. They want to do this, do that. They want their spot, their chair, and so it's like you getting into little bull incidents over nothing,
It's the sharing the space. It's
but
tough,
but for the most part, I was in Franklin. So Franklin was, once again, they sent me to the wildest. That was the wildest medium. I think I went to Franklin 2014. That was the wildest medium at the time, and then for years it got wilder. But for the most part, the young gang members and the young kids and stuff like that, they respected me. They heard about me, or they seen what I could do. So they looked up to me. They listened to me. So, I had a couple incidents, where, I had to show people, but it wasn't too, it wasn't too major or nothing, Eventually, I made it to Woodburn, from Franklin, and then from Woodburn, I went home. I came home, but, and people know if they've been there and been in the state, to get to Woodburn, you got to be on your best behavior because that's like an honor jail, like, you know. So I definitely was staying out of trouble, you know. I've been in some incidents, but I got out of them, you know.
Nice.
The right way.
Nice.
The right way.
What do you think you learned most about those 20 years?
Man, I learned.
When people ask me as a CO, I say patience. Like the number one thing you took out of all that shit.
Definitely.
It's like at certain points you have no power, you have no say, you have nothing. It's just you're going to do this right now. This is what it is.
No doubt. And with that, right, and with the patience, though, I learned independence, too.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
you are alone.
yeah, it's kind of like you alone, even though you might have, I've had my share of affiliation. Like I affiliate with different people, you know, stuff like that. I have friends and, you know, or associates in prison. But for the most part, you're by yourself. And you have to be independent. You have to learn how to do things on your own, cook, you know, clean, everything. You have to learn how to, you know, work out. Everything was disciplined. Like I hear some people say, yo, I need a workout partner. Like I had workout partners sometime, but for the most part, I had to get up and tell myself, yo, you got to work out. You got to go get this money. You got to work out. You got to eat right. You got to do certain things on your own. But I definitely got patience, independence. I definitely, like, it taught me being in there. I look at it like, I wouldn't say college, but I look at it like it's a big learning experience for me. And it made me...
And that's why I asked, because it is.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a whole different world.
Like, I rehabilitated myself, if that makes any sense, because I wouldn't say I really needed rehabilitation, so I wouldn't even use that word. I would say prison, for most people, is bad, you know what I mean? But for me, I think I got a lot of good out of it. You know, I got a lot of good out of it. I educated myself in there. I've got degrees in there. I've got my GED in there. I got, you know, I tapped into places inside of me that I didn't even know exist, you know? So, especially, you know, you ever heard of the word dystopia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was like my dystopia. It was like even with my music, it's like me delving into my music. It was like dystopia for me. It was like, yo, I've created a world that nobody could touch, only me. Like I can bring you into that world when I start rapping and I let you hear my rhymes and stuff like that. Then you'll be like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But yeah, I got a lot of good out of it. I mean, of course, you know, it definitely hurt me in a lot of ways too. You know, I lost a lot of family members. You know, a lot of bad things happened to me in there. You know, not nothing crazy, but you know, but for the most part though, I feel like it made me a better man. It made me the person, because I went in there as a kid. So
100%.
Yeah, so I came out as a man that responsible.
You grew up in there.
Yes, disciplined, determined, you know, devoted to bettering my life and also helping others. And you know, because I always been like a philanthropist anyway, but to come out after going through what I've been through, I think it was good for me, you know?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to tell nobody to volunteer to go, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just what you make it, you know?
It is. Yeah. I like asking these questions because I hope the viewers open their minds, because a lot of these kids think prison is cool, you know?
Yeah, no, it's definitely
like
cool.
I want them to really see how it's like, it's a facade. You know?
Definitely. It's for those, right? I say this all the time. For those that depict or try to portray prison as being like a badge of honor or something that's cool, it's not. But I'm not ashamed of it. I'm definitely not ashamed of what happened to me, and I'm definitely upset that I went to prison for 21 years for a crime I didn't commit and wasn't able to vindicate myself for it. But I in no way like glorify it, and I don't wear it as a badge of honor. I just use it and I speak about it to shed awareness, like you said, for the kids, for the youth, to show them that I went through this, but look at me now. You know, I'm not crazy. I didn't come outside and boost up the recidivism rate. I didn't go back. I've been home, almost 8 years now. Never had any brushes with the law. You know, I've been doing great as far as legitimately, you know what I mean? Like no crimes, none of that. And it is a life after prison, you know? It is a life after prison.
Absolutely.
You just got to be determined. You got to be disciplined. You got to, you know, it's it's definitely not cool. People think because you went to jail that, you know, to me it's cool when you don't go to jail. That's cool. That's, you know, and I'm not saying, I'm not telling
100%.
people, yo, commit crimes and none of that. Nah, don't commit crimes. Be a good person. And whatever. Everybody that commit crimes is not a bad person, because sometimes people might have to defend their people, or you might have to do something to get money, whatever floats your boat, you know? But I just say, man, don't go to prison.
100%.
Because it's two sides to it. You know, people, I heard you say you was a CO, you know what I mean? Like, it's that side, then it's our side. But like I've gotten along with COs in there, some of them.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that too. Like, what is your view of COs? Like, if you were to explain to like a friend or something, they ask you, well, what are COs like? Because it does vary. Some COs are there just to do their job. Some COs are there to take out the anger that they when they got bullied when they were a kid.
Right, yeah.
So, some are having marital problems and they're taking it out. You know.
You basically answered it, but nah, I'm saying it's like this, right? It's just like this. Every girl isn't the same. Every friend isn't the same. Everybody has. So I never like went in there and just hated COs because they're doing their job. You know what I mean? And just like some COs feel the same way about prisoners. Like, yo, y'all committed the crime. I'm here to, you know, exhaust those 3 C's: care, custody, and control. You know what I mean? And that's what they there for. To be honest with you, I tell people all the time though, the COs that everybody, it seems like every prison I've been to, the COs that's the worst, like the quote unquote dickheads or whatever, they like me. We had a good relationship. They liked me, they respected me, I respected them, and we got along fine. Now some COs just didn't like me, bothered me, and we got it on. We had fights. I mean, it's documented. I've caught cases because of that. Like, we fought, and, you know, I got jumped by some of them, and, you know, we had our little brushes, but for the most part, every CO ain't the same. And like it's all about communication, man. You know, I used to tell the COs all the time, you yelling and screaming, whatever. You gotta have the go-to guy. I'm the go-to guy. Talk to me. Let's communicate, right? Let's communicate differently, because you can't like really expect somebody to receive the way how you coming at them if you're not speaking their language, you know. So communication is key, man, for anything, you know. So if we talking to each other with respect, right? If we dealing with each other with respect, we gonna get along. We're gonna coexist together. But if we disrespecting each other, there's no way we gonna coexist with each other. It's gonna be war. It's gonna be beef, you know.
I want to talk about porter. Were you ever a porter?
Yeah.
So COs say, because you know how the porter is in that block, he's the most trusted one. He's the one that we could rely on to help us out. But COs say that's the most hated guy. That's the guy they don't like. Do you know why? Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I would say more so in the box. Like, for instance, right? I was a porter in Southport, right? So in Southport, nobody comes out. Like, nobody comes out. You're the only person that comes out. The trays come, you give out the trays. Laundry, you give out the laundry. Sometimes they let you just, you know, stay out. You know, you stay out. You allowed to pass things and stuff like that. At the end of the day, the porter is the person that you need, the COs and the inmates, because nothing is getting really done without the porter. The porter he's passing stuff, he's making moves. And the CO is like, you know, he's the go-between from the CO to the inmates. The porter's the middleman. So, but then you got some porters though. that's on some don't pass the gun line boss type.
Yeah.
You know, they more with the the CO than they with the people.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because
So-
there's also porters that it's the opposite.
Exactly.
That they're running the block the way they want, but the CO thinks, oh, he's just helping us out. He's actually he's really doing,
Yeah. Nah, definitely. Because, like, for instance, when I was
Like
a
three
CO,
different porters.
I could say this now. When I was when I said CO, when I was a porter, I wasn't no CO. When I was a porter in Southport, like, I used to get coffee. I used to get, like, clippers, certain things, like cigarettes, stuff like that people couldn't get.
Yeah.
So that's the privilege of being a porter, right? Sometimes I would get caught. The CO, if he was cool, he would be like, yo, what are you doing? And I'm like, yo, man, he'll take it or he'll let me keep it. Then you got some that would be like, all right, you owe me one. And then I would be like, I don't owe you nothing. You might as well take it, lock me up, whatever you're going to do. Close the cell, because then that means, you got to tell now. Because you got some porters that's telling. They're going to tell the COs everything they want to know, But for me, from my perspective and from what I went through, they let me be the porter. I never actually went one time to the program committee and took that as a job in a regular jail. I usually got selected. Hey, you want to be my porter? You keep these guys in check. All right, yeah, let me out. I come out, whatever. But usually it was in the box, stuff like that. But yeah, because some porters is like they work with the system. They work with the administration. Yeah. Some porters don't do that. They work for the people too, So like me, I like to just help people. You know what I mean? Like, you trying to get something to another block, I'll help you get it there. Whatever. But that really wasn't my thing, though. Porters, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I could tell by all the trouble you were in. You can't be a porter when you're in all that trouble.
Nah, definitely. I mean, I was a porter in Southport a couple of times, and man, this is crazy because in Southport, it's real crazy in there. They throw feces, they throw urine, they throw all that, man. I had one guy, he threw feces all over the food cart. All over the food cart. It got on my clothes and all that too. And yeah, it's crazy. They expect me to clean. I'm not cleaning that up. Like, we
wrong porter.
Yeah, you gotta lock me in. I'm good. I'm talking about, it was a nightmare, man. South people that know about Southport, Pine City, New York, Southport box. That's one of the worst. It's so inhumane. I can't even talk about half of the stuff that people do in there, man. But it's crazy in there. Like, to come out of there and still be sane, you got to be strong.
Absolutely.
You got to be strong, man. Because I can't. Man, I've been there about 6 times.
Damn.
And for long times too, like in between. So it's crazy.
Damn.
People spitting it out their mouth.
Damn.
It's crazy, man. Savage.
We're getting to the grimy stories. I wanted to get to this question where it's like, I do want to scare these kids. But I want to also tap into the good times. So if you could think of one good time you had in there and the worst time you had in there, the best time and the worst time. It could be something mental, it could be something you saw, something you heard, something you went through. But the best time you had in there, the best you felt, and then the worst you felt in there. Mm. That's where your water too, if you feel free.
Thank you. I mean, I did 2 decades in there, man.
That's what
like
I'm saying.
Straight.
You got a lot of knowledge.
It was a lot of bad times in there, man. But if I could say, I think they need to hear this, you heard? The day that I signed those papers to be released, because it definitely was some times in there. Like, I don't want to like convey the wrong message to these kids, because it definitely was days where I felt good, because I'm free spirited, I'm good, I'm just happy to be alive. But to me, I don't care what happens in there. Like, it's like you're away from your family, you're not free, you can't do as you please. It's really nothing that could really make me feel good except for signing those papers to get out, And that right there, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared, but I felt good though. I felt happy because I was coming home, But it was some aight moments in there. It was some aight moments. It was,
I know, because
it was like
it becomes your life, so it's like
Yeah, it was aight moments like doing talent shows and having college kids come in and see me perform on stage and and seeing their reaction, and even certain family members coming to visit me, and those was good moments sometime.
You got to perform your music.
Yeah, definitely.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I was in Green Haven. That's one of the jails I didn't say I was in, but Green Haven was one of the prisons, which is like it's a Max A. That's one of the prisons that actually provide you. They gave us a platform. Like they had Vassar College, which is in Poughkeepsie, Pace University. They used to come, and we used to perform for the college kids, and actually educate them and the whole Pace thing, and talk about HIV, AIDS, and spread awareness on it. I even had a rhyme about breaking down HIV and stuff like that. And it was just fun. It was cool.
Was it like Scared Straight more? Like to tell them about prison life?
No, because it was a group of them that used to come through and walk through the blocks. But the group that used to come to us, we had a program called Reality and Pain. And Reality and Pain was like a musical program, basically, where you had singers, poets, rappers, musicians, and they used to come in and they used to enact with us, and we used to talk to them. They asked us questions. It was like, basically like, I would say it was like that, but it wasn't fake. It wasn't us, trying to intimidate them or nothing. We was just interacting with them. We was just being regular with them, talking to them, and I think they got a lot from it. They got a lot from it. A lot of them actually, stayed in touch with us for a while, and it was cool. We actually got our music played on the radio stations and all that.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was cool. It was good. This is back in 2006, 2007.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So what was the worst day or the worst moment or whatever?
I'm not gonna lie, man. The worst moment was, I would say it's up for grabs.
Like you mentioned, starving yourself and all that. Like
yeah,
one of those or anything.
I would say, man, I gotta give it to him. I gotta. It's two bad ones, but I think I gotta give him the Attica story. The Attica story goes like this, right? I don't want to get too in depth with the story, but the story goes like this. Back at that time, I was going to war. I was going to war with a certain gang, and I was involved with a certain gang, and me and this individual wind up, getting at each other, and I wind up, doing something to him, and then the COs came. I ran. I flushed whatever I had down the toilet. They came. They dragged me out the cell, beat me up. I was little. I mean, I was about 21 at the time. They big, big, burly country dudes. So they beat me up, took me in the back, called me all types of N-words, and, really degraded me, like cut my clothes off, stripped me naked, and just beat me up. Just like a whole bunch of them just beat me up. And then when it was all said and done, like I couldn't even like stand up. They took the handcuffs off me and all that. I said, "You want to fight? You want to be tough? Fight? Come on!" And I just couldn't defend myself. I was just so beat and degraded. You know what I mean? And that probably was like the lowest point for me right there, because it was like I mean, I experienced racism. You know what I'm saying, growing up, but to experience it like that, and then to be like almost killed.
Attica racism is different.
What? Like, and then on top of that, they set me up. They put 2 razors in my cell. Well, in the cell that I was in, they lied on me, put 2 razors in the cell. Yeah, that was crazy. I would say between that and what happened to me in Coxsackie, because what happened to me in Coxsackie was bad too. Like they really, they broke my leg. They bust my head open to the white meat.
It was the same thing. You were fighting, and then that's what they did to you after you fought?
Yeah, no, actually what happened was the COs tried to assassinate me. Like in certain prisons, they got beat up squads. So what happened?
I mean, why'd they pick you, I'm saying?
All right, I'll tell you a little bit about that. So what happened was I was going to the mess hall, and this certain sergeant, he used to always see me, and he basically just hated my guts because I always had different sneakers. In prison, at the time you could only have sneakers that cost $50 and lower. I had Jordans, I had Uptown, I had Bojacks, like different sneakers that was expensive. And
but you legally got him in.
Yeah, but he probably knew it. But
they know.
I had a Louis Vuitton belt, like certain things. Yeah, I was just pushing it. I was living life, man. So he
like
said,
Frank Lucas with the fur.
Yeah. I was just chilling. I mean, I was just trying to, because I've been going for years, man. I'm trying to, live a little life. So he's like, yo, who do you think you are? So I'm like, I'm just ignoring him. Like, I'm not trying to argue with him. So he's like, all right, I got something for you. So, long story short, I see the beat up squad coming. So they send the first one first. So when they send him, and this is documented too, if they want to look it up, it's definitely foil. You can foil it. I caught a case for this. So, I see the officer coming. He has a tray. So I'm like, yo, officer, please, I don't want the tray. I'm not, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to try to jump me. I'm good. I'm trying to avoid it. I'm trying to avoid the fight. I'm good. I don't want the tray. They pop the cell. He throws the tray at me and throws a sucker punch at me, but he missed. He nicked me. So when he nicked me, I backed up. I'm like, yo, officer, I don't want no problems. I'm playing passive. I'm playing possum because I know what I can do, but I know what I can do is going to get me more time. So I'm like, okay. So he threw a punch at me. He missed. He nicked me. Then he kept trying to swing at me. So I finished him. I knocked him out, whatever. Then another officer came. I knocked him out.
Damn.
Another one came. I knocked him out. And then we fighting now. Now it's more officers. We all fighting. Fighting. The second officer got his orbital bones broke. The first one got his jaw broke. The third one got his wrist broke, right? In the whole process, I got my leg broke. Well, my knee got broke.
Damn.
My head got busted open to the white meat. I had stitches in my head. A lot of things happened. I wound up getting a 2-4 behind that.
Damn.
They beat me. They beat me for about 30 minutes. They used my head as as a what's that thing that you put the football on with the punt? They just was, they just was punting. They just was punting my head, man. So, I held it down though. I held it down. Actually, I have carpal tunnel right now too because they put the handcuffs on me real tight, and they threw me down the stairs, but they yanked me back. So that right there, was one of the lowest too for me. But like I said, it's more than 2, 3. It's a lot of those type of incidents, not just with other prisoners. Because like I said, I've always felt like, if I sat here and told you every story, we'd be here all day.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's why I said the main ones to scare the hell out of these
kids. I definitely had my share of incidents with them, with the officers, but I definitely had my incidents with the prisoners too.
Absolutely.
20 years, that's a lot of time,
Absolutely.
So,
every day is drama.
Yeah, but it's definitely not no walk in the park in there, man. Like, I made it out still looking pretty and all that, but it's definitely been some attempts, people have tried to cut me and all that before, but they just wasn't successful, but
yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was, that's something I really didn't want to say that, but I would say back in I was actually in the box too when this happened, 2010. I was working out, minding my business.
Inside your cell?
Yeah, in Southport in the box. After the incident that I'm telling you about, and they're like, the CO's coming, like, yo, put your hands behind your back. So I'm like, for what? Usually that means, you coming out, you going somewhere. So I'm like, for what? I'm not going nowhere. I don't have a call out. Then like, yo, the chaplain wants to talk to you. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, chaplain, that means somebody died. So I go, and then they tell me, my mother's on the phone. So I, pick up this actually was, it's hurt, right? So I get on the phone. I said, what's up, Ma? She's like, yo, your father, I'm with your father in the hospice. He's dying. So for me, it's like, yo, nobody told me that my father was sick. I didn't know. I never knew because my father was so strong. Like, he wouldn't tell nobody nothing. But all this time, me fighting and going back and forth to the box and, people say wilding out. I would just call it surviving. All of this is going on, and I don't know because they're not telling me because it's really not their fault. It's my fault because I'm being moved from here to here. I can't get on the phone. I'm on loss of everything. I can't. The mail is, the officers is taking my mail. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, Ma, what do you mean? Like, so I was supposed to go to the hospice to see him on his deathbed. You know what I mean? So I go back. They come back and get me like 2-3 hours later. So I go back. I said, what's up? They like, yo, my mom's like, yo, it's no hospice. Like, he's dying right now. You know what I mean? Like, yo, but he's still alive. Like, can you? So I spoke to him. You know what I mean? I spoke to him on the phone. I told him I loved him. I try to tell him, don't die. Like, I want to come home and, and all that. But he, I could hear him like grunting, like, I guess, saying something to me, but I still don't know what he said. But, yeah, that was a low moment for me too. My father passed away, like right when I was on the phone too. You know what I mean? And prior to that, I was denied like all wakes. I guess because of my classification in prison, like of me being so wild, they wouldn't never let me go to nobody's funeral. Like, my people died, like my godmother, a lot of family members died. They didn't let me go. My grandfather, grandmother. But they let me go. They let me go to my father's funeral. So I went, And then after that, I probably ain't speak for like 2 weeks after that. Because I used to go on like verbal fasts. I think verbal fasts is good for your brain. It's good for your mind.
Hell
Makes
yeah.
you stronger,
Hell yeah.
Talking sometimes is good, but sometimes you need to, be silent,
Hell
But that's
yeah.
definitely one of my lowest, like, yeah, it's a lot, man.
Yeah,
But
I already know. 20
I kind of
years.
didn't even want to say that because it's like it hurts when I think about it because I never got to really like see my pops in the wild even before that because I was wilding out going to the box.
Yep.
And I didn't really get to see him, but
The whole time you were in there, were you writing?
yeah. Yeah.
And you kept your, because I know when you being moved around, like you lost notebooks or anything.
Oh yeah, I lost a lot of stuff,
Damn.
but I used to just like I learned how to just write and memorize it quick, and like or even with letters and stuff like that, I just write them, send it out, or I write it in the letter. Like I write, if you talking about like songs and poetry and stuff like that, I'll write it in the letter and just send it home. Have my mom's keep it for me or something like that. Then, or I'll just memorize it,
Nice.
But
Nice. All right, let's get back to the music. So you come home and you're thinking, I'm gonna go all in on music, or what's the thoughts?
man, I mean, I was doing it. Even though I was going through hell in there, I still was doing music. So, like I said, like when I was in Green Haven, we used to do talent shows. We was making mixtapes.
Yeah.
We was actually meeting people from the music industry,
That's
everything
crazy.
in there. So it's like, I tell people this all the time. Like people always say, oh, you got to pay your dues. Or like I've been rapping since I was 14, like trying to get a record deal. And I had a deal and everything. Like but even in prison, I was grinding. I was doing shows. I was rapping in front of people. I was sending people my music. So it's like everybody was rooting for me. Everybody was rooting for me. So when I got home, I noticed that it wasn't the same. Like the social media, everything. I was, when I left the streets, it wasn't nothing.
None of this.
It wasn't no social media. So social media, stuff like that. I mean, I stayed abreast with it in there because I used to read magazines and newspapers and stuff like that, so I knew certain things about it. But for the most part, I just started rapping off like YouTube beats, like stuff like that, and then people started giving me beats, and I had a situation with a brother in Peekskill, and that didn't work out with the studio and stuff like that. So I wind up getting connected with a brother named Skywalker Dutch. I don't know if you know him.
No.
Skywalker Dutch. Shout out Dutch. And from then, I just started making music. But how I got my name out there though was I started this series called Bars and Cars. So what I would do is, like, let's say, for instance, my mom's would drive me to work or something like that. I'd be like, Mom, let me put this beat on, and put the beat on, and I rap over it. And that's how I started getting traction on YouTube. And I started getting a lot of views and stuff like that. Then I went to Instagram, Facebook. Then I started just, rapping. Then I decided, you know what, let me do a mixtape. So I did a mixtape. My first mixtape was Real Nigga Epitome. Then I dropped King Cocky. Then I dropped my first album, Stay Shop. Yeah, but music was something that I knew I was gonna do. I came home, and to be honest with you though, I thought it would be easier, cause of certain people made promises when I was in there, and knowing certain people that's in the industry, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I thought it would be like a better rollout, but it wasn't. Like, so I had to learn everything from scratch. I had to do everything myself, and I'm here today. I definitely.
You're still doing everything alone?
Learned a lot. No, I definitely got help now. As far as not with no labels or none of that. I have my own record label, The Order of Business Entertainment. I have help. Definitely have help people on the team that help me with a lot of things. As far as with cinematography, videography, photography, stuff like that.
Nice.
But for the most part, I've been grinding, man, since 2018. Since I came home.
Nice.
I
was looking up on Apple Music. Under your albums, you have Memoirs of Destiny.
Yeah.
They have that down as your first album. Is that accurate?
No.
Just on the albums, but the singles, they have others.
Yeah.
That's not the first one?
That's actually one of my recent albums.
Yeah, it says 2024.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my recent albums from last year. I dropped 2 full albums last year. Towards the end of last year, I dropped 2 mixtapes and a hella bunch of singles last year. Like,
I see a lot of singles.
I'm busy, man. I stay dropping music, so I stay making music.
Let's just jump into the 3 albums, the last ones. Memoirs of Destiny. What's that? There's a little girl on the cover.
Yes. Memoirs of Destiny is actually about, the reason why I called it memoirs, you know what a memoir
Absolutely.
is. A memoir is like basically like a diary or like, of notes.
It's a story you wrote yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So destiny is like a metaphor, but it also represents a person. It represents a person in my life that came in my life and actually made my life better, helped me out in a lot of ways, and she's somebody who I love, who loves me, who loves my craft, who helped me perfect it. But when I say memoirs, it's like basically, I would say it documents the time of when I met her up until then, like in between. So all those songs that you hear on there, it's maybe about 15 songs. it all documents like how I feel about her, what happened during that time, and you know, like for instance, I give you an example. Like it has a song on there called "Make Up to Break Up" or "Break Up to Make Up." You know, that's basically about like real life. Like it's like how we always break up, but then we make up 2-3 days later. It's crazy. Yeah, it's almost toxic. You know, but then you got songs like let me see, what other songs is on there? Ooh Baby, You're the One. Like these are really crush. These are really like real songs, like really coming from the heart, like about real things that really happened in my memoirs of Destiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Destiny's also, you know, even though that's her name, but it also, you know, it's
Like a metaphor for.
it's a metaphor
destiny.
for my life. You know, it was meant to be this way. You know, it was meant to be.
Nice. I like that. What about now? Everybody wants to be from Warburton.
Whoa.
I love that title.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a long title,
Well,
but I love that title.
now everybody
Let's talk about it.
Well, now everybody wants to be from Warburton is basically like a metaphor too. It's like basically, you know, my block, Warburton Avenue, is like it's like a popular block, you know? So it's like when I say that, it's just meaning like yo, now everybody, you know, want to say they from Warburton now, but they really not. Like you not. You might be from down the street, you might be from up the hill, but you're not really from the main vessel. Like the main vessel is Warburton, like, you know, and me, I call myself KOW, the king of Warburton. I mean, I actually didn't give myself that title. People kind of actually gave me that, but I run with it because I feel like as far as working and I feel like I'm the king. I feel like nobody else is working as hard as me in Yonkers, period. But like I said, like I was telling people today, it is a different circuit out here that people don't see, you know. And I'm trying to tap into it. It's like they trying to tap in with mine. But as far as from what I see and from what I know, I'm like the hardest working man out here right now when it comes to music and just doing things myself and being independent and just being the king. Quality music with substance, meaning, bars, you know, especially my story. You know, I try to rap about things that I really do and really lived. So then we came with the Now Everybody Wants to Be from Warburton. We actually had the T-shirts too, which was lighting up the whole summer. We actually used it as a campaign, like as a marketing. Me and Big Drip Shug, shout out Big Drip Shug. Me and her, she's actually the one who came up with that. So we actually used that as a marketing tool to not only to market the album, but to show and to unify all the blocks in Yonkers. Because it's called Rep Your Block T-shirts. So it's like, now everybody wants to be from Riverdale.
Oh,
now everybody wants to be from Lawrence. Like whatever block you from, it'd be on the shirt. But it's also representing now everybody wants to be from Warburton, my albums. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a good idea. And we even had sweatsuits, everything. You know, I do have a clothing line too called Coltron. You know.
How do you spell that?
All right. Cultron. You remember Voltron, right?
Yeah.
All right. It actually comes from that, but instead of Voltron, it's Coltron.
Like culture.
Like culture and Voltron together.
I like that.
Forming Voltron, different cultures. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
Yes, different cultures, different ethnicities, everything. We coming together, unified, you know what I mean, for one common cause. That's entertainment, hip hop, whatever. You know what I mean? You could be a book writer, you could be a whatever you do. We don't discriminate. You know what I mean? Coltron is a way of life. So
like
that's my
that.
brand. You know what I mean? As you can see, I got the 1995.
That's Coltron?
Yeah, this is Coltron right here. Coltron on the hoodie.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
What's the 1995 signify?
1995 to me, I actually this is the purple line, but 1995 to me represents that golden era of hip hop, and it represents a good time in my life for me too. But hip hop, because 1995, man, there's no music that was ever made like 1995, man. You got the Raekwon Purple Tape, you got Mobb Deep, you got Biggie, Biggie and Pac. Like that era was the best, man. Redman, it's like the list goes on, man. Buckshot, everybody. You know what I mean? All the real, real MCs, man, from that time. So it's like, I wouldn't say I'm stuck in 1995, but I love that. I love that era. I love that era.
I respect that. That was a great music
Definitely.
era.
I mean, a lot of things from 1995 is coming back now. You know, the clothes, the fashion.
Absolutely.
It's all coming. The music, the style, everything is just coming back. You know.
Well, what does Crittermake stand for, or how'd that come up?
Well, Critter, I got that name when I was born. My grandfather called me a critter when he see me. Rest in peace. You know, when he see me when I was born. He told my mother, I'm going to call him Critter because he looked like a little critter. And then that name just stuck with me since I was a baby. I'm talking about since the day one. And the make combined with the critter, the story goes when I was about 14, 15, a brother named Kay from Soundview, who moved to Yonkers and, used to hang out with us when we used to be on the streets. He gave me the name Make, because he said I used to always make it happen. I used to make, like, if nobody else could do it, I could make it happen. I could make it possible, from making money, make you smile, whatever. So they just gave me that name, and then it just became Crittermake.
Nice.
Facts. And I just kept that name since then, man.
Real authentic.
Yeah, like people would actually write me in Valhalla, Crittermake, with my PIN number and all that, and I would get the mail. I'm telling you, sometimes with no PIN, I would get the mail because I guess it's in the system now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like an alias.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
who are your top 5 favorite artists?
Top 5?
Dead or alive?
Damn. Well, in no particular order, right?
Don't have to.
No
be.
particular order. You know what I mean? DMX. Nas, Scarface, Kool G Rap, right? So I said Scarface, Kool G Rap, Nas, DMX, and I would have to say me.
My man.
I definitely have to say me. I mean, sorry to Tupac and Biggie and other people, Big L. These is people who I respect. You know what I mean? But I had to mention myself because I really love my music. Like I really listen to my music a lot. Like even the old music, I love it.
That's how you do it.
I inspire myself.
That's how you do it. How could the people find you? You can let them know.
Y'all can find me on Instagram at Crittermake. Crittermake. Y'all can find my clothing at the Coltron store on Instagram, right? Excuse me. Then you can find me at the Homeboy Crittermake, DAHOMEBOY space Crittermake on my YouTube channel. That's my YouTube channel right there. Same thing on TikTok. Twitter, I think it's the Real Critter on Twitter, but on TikTok it's Crittermake. Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere else is Crittermake. What else? Y'all can also get these from me. This is something I just wanted to bring up. So I've been selling my product to my fans direct to customer. This is actually a USB, a custom-made USB. This is actually my Blue Lion album right here. So, excuse me, put it like this so you can see it. This goes into the USB port. Put it in your car, whatever, your radio, whatever. And this is actually my second album like this. I'm working on the third one, which is actually on the back of this hoodie right here. I'm representing this, me and a friend of mine, artist, Skezo Flow. We got an album coming out called The New Purple Tape. It's going to be on one of these, on USB flash drives, custom made. We just taking it back. When I say we, I'm talking about the Order of Business Entertainment, my team. we taking it back hand to hand, direct to customer. So when you're looking for my music, you could just contact me directly, and I have the music just like this for you, ready to go. And they come with free merch and all that. So we definitely doing something different.
I like that.
know?
We're nearing the end of the podcast. If you want to plug anything, let people know if you got something coming up that you want them to tune into, anything, any advice.
Oh yeah, man. I just want to say, shout out to you, brother.
My pleasure, bro.
Appreciate you for having me. I just want to shout out the whole Yonkers. I appreciate everybody that's been showing me love and support. And for those of you that don't know me yet, I'm looking forward to meeting y'all. And I'm definitely accessible. I'll be around. And like I said, I got the new Purple tape coming out soon on USB flash drives. I got a new single coming out called Bishop, dropping real soon. Also, be on the lookout for, what else we got? Be on the lookout for The Last Supper, which is a project I got with 12 of the dopest artists from Yonkers. Actually, I call them my 12 disciples. You know, be on the lookout for that, and be on the lookout for just more work. I mean, I got a lot of things in the making. You know, some movies coming. You know, a few little commercials I got working on. So, and merch, Coltron. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely. And I got some shows coming up too. So stay posted. I'll keep you. Oh, excuse me. How could I forget this? I have a fire album out right now too. I just dropped this too. I actually dropped 3 albums last year. At the end of the year, I dropped Snuggle Season. So if you look Snuggle Season up, Crittermake and the real J Forte, free J Forte, he be home soon. We just dropped a project called Snuggle Season. Call Hot 97, Power 105, all of them. Call your local radio stations and request any song off of Snuggle Season. Guarantee you're going to love it. All right?
My man. I appreciate the conversation.
I appreciate y'all, man. Yo, thank you, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming by.
Definitely, man.
And thank you for everybody for watching. Peace and love.